Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Toronto police charge man and woman in alleged confinement and sexual assault of girl 14.
$20,000 in fentanyl seized from Toronto man's vehicle in Niagara area, police say. Whitby mayor says she won't turn to strong mayor powers amidst weeks-long strike. Toronto police increase size of hate crime unit amid rise in reports of hate.
Peel police issue Canada-wide warrant in connection with Brampton shooting. Bus carrying crew for Shania Twain concert crashes on IC highway in Saskatchewan. Bank of Canada's governing council split on whether interest rates need to rise further.
These were the headlines and let's jump right into the details.
Police have issued a nationwide warrant for a 33-year-old man in connection with an attempted murder investigation. Police say they received a call for a shooting in the area of Queen Street East and Rutherford Road in Brampton on February 3rd of this year. When officers arrived on scene, they located an adult male victim with gunshot wounds, resulting in serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Police then initiated an investigation dubbed Project Journey into what they called a targeted shooting. 6 parties have been arrested so far in connection with the investigation. Search warrants have been executed across the GTA and resulted in the seizure of 5 firearms, 10 kilograms of methamphetamine, and what police are calling significant quantities of fentanyl and cocaine. A Canada-wide warrant for the arrest of Nakeem Jamar Johnson, 33, has been issued for 44 counts of possession of a prohibited device, 4 counts each of knowledge of unauthorized possession and possession of a loaded firearm, 2 counts of possession for the purpose of trafficking, and 1 count each of possession of firearm, conspiracy to commit murder, and attempted murder. Johnson is described as a black man standing 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighing 160 pounds. He has short black hair and black beard and brown eyes. Johnson is considered armed and dangerous. If seen, police are asking people not to approach and instead call 911 immediately. Anyone with the information on Johnson or his whereabouts is asked to contact Peel Regional Police.
Toronto police say they have increased the size of their hate crime unit in light of a rise in hate crime reports. The force says there has been a noted increase in hate crime reports since October 7 when the Israel-Hamas war began, with the largest increase seen in reports of hate-motivated graffiti. Inspector Roger DeRoche says hate-motivated graffiti victimizes communities as long as it's there and is a priority for police to investigate such cases. Toronto police say the hate crime unit has grown from 6 officers to 20 investigators and 8 district special constables. The force has also launched an online form for the public to report hate-motivated graffiti so that police can investigate and arrange for the graffiti's removal. Toronto Police Chief Myron Demkew told a police services board meeting last month that since October 7th, there had been 14 hate crime reports, 12 relating to anti-Semitism and 2 about anti-Muslim incidents, compared to 5 during a similar time frame last year. Police say they will provide an update on hate crime statistics at the next monthly police services board meeting on November 23rd. A man from Toronto was arrested in Niagara area Tuesday after $20,000 worth of fentanyl was allegedly seized from his vehicle. A release issued by Niagara Regional Police Service and RPS on Wednesday said the arrest took place on Tuesday, November 7th, after an officer on general patrol conducted a traffic stop on a white Hyundai Elantra on King Street. The driver exited their vehicle and became argumentative with the officers, the release states. They were unable to provide their identification and instead offered their name verbally, it continued. Police allege that when they entered the given name into the system, there was no match found in the Ministry of Transportation database. Etobicoke resident Jama Nasir, 35, was then placed under arrest. Officers searched Nasir's vehicle and allegedly seized just over 103 grams of fentanyl worth approximately $20,000. A photo identification that belonged to the driver and confirmed that he had previously given a fake name. Nasir was charged with 1 count of possession of fentanyl for the purpose of trafficking, 1 count of disobeying a court order, and 1 count of obstructing a peace officer. The accused attended his first court appearance in St. Catharines on Wednesday. Anyone with the information is asked to contact the investigating officer by dialing 905-688 4111 option 3 extension 1009831 with any relevant information. Members of the public who wish to provide information anonymously can contact Crime Stoppers of Niagara online or by calling 1-800-222-8477. Some critical services are returning to Whitby amidst a strike that has left residents without garbage collection and town arena staffing for over 4 weeks. Talks between the town and Union Cube Local 53 are scheduled for Friday and Saturday. A mediator will be present for the negotiations. As of Wednesday, some services have begun to return to the town, which is home to over 135,000 people, including several recreation centers offering programs like figure skating, hockey, and ringette. The town added that it anticipates an opening date of November 20th for the Whitby Civic Recreation Center Pool and Health Club, though swimming lessons will continue to be on hold until further notice. As well, the town has opened a new drop-off location for garbage, yard wastes, and organics at 5015 Baldwin Street. The new location will be staffed by non-union workers while labor negotiations are ongoing. Some curbside waste removal has returned to the town, but only for yard waste. Garbage and organics collection remains on hold. In a statement shared to the Town of Whitby website, Mayor Elizabeth Roy said she is optimistic about the labor negotiations, saying that the town has offered several new benefits to Cube 53 workers, including more personal days and more transparency around scheduling. She added that she will not use strong mayor powers to end the labor disruption, claiming that ending the strike does not align with powers designated used to advance prescribed provincial priorities such as housing. Bill 3 does not give me the ability to order the town's unionized employees back to work or to implement a collective agreement, she said. I'm not aware of any mayors in Ontario who have used Bill 3 to intervene in the collective bargaining process. I do not believe it is the intent of this legislation to see mayors disrupt lawful labor action or otherwise insinuate themselves into the collective bargaining process. Whitby residents can stay informed about the labor disruption through the Town of Whitby website. Further interest rate hikes from the Bank of Canada are very much still on the table as its governing council remains split on whether rates may need to rise further. The central bank on Wednesday released its summary of deliberations detailing the discussions governing council members had in the lead up to its October 25th rate decision, which kept its key rate on hold at 5%. On the issue of whether interest rates are high enough, the summary suggests members of the governing council are split. Some members felt that it was more likely than not that policy rate would need to increase further to return inflation to target. Others viewed the most likely scenario as one where a 5% policy rate would be sufficient to get inflation back to the 2% target provided it was maintained at that level for long enough, the summary said. The Bank of Canada ultimately decided to exert patience, but members of the governing council agreed to revisit whether rates need to rise further. The central bank remains concerned that inflation is not falling fast enough despite the economy responding to higher interest rates. Canada's inflation rate fell to 3.8% in September, but underlying prices pressures have not eased by much in recent months. Core measures of inflation, which strip out volatile price movements, have remained in the 3.5 to 4.0% range over the last year, the central bank notes. The Bank of Canada's governing council attributed the persistence of high inflation to several factors, including rising shelter prices. The central bank's interest rate hikes are partly to blame for that, given they have fed into higher mortgage interest costs for Canadians. However, the central bank has recently noted that other shelter costs remain elevated largely due to imbalances in the housing market. Higher interest rates would normally exert downward pressure on house prices and other costs that are closely linked to house prices, such as maintenance, taxes, and insurance, the central bank said. However, the ongoing structural shortage of housing supply in the economy was sustaining elevated house prices, and the rapid increase in Canada's population had added to the existing imbalance between demand and supply for housing. A man and a woman have been arrested and charged after they allegedly approached a 14-year-old girl on a Toronto street
took her to their residence and sexually assaulted her. A release issued by Toronto Police on Wednesday said the incident took place in the early morning hours of June 23rd in the area of Pape and Cosburn Avenues, just east of the Don Valley Parkway. Investigators allege that the girl was approached on the street before being taken to the suspect's address where she was sexually assaulted. On Monday, officers with Toronto Police placed Donald Downey, 38, and Chanel Taylor, 27, both residents of Toronto, under arrest. Both accused are facing charges including but not limited to sexual assault, sexual interference, and forcible confinement. The charges have not been tested in court. Police said they believe there may be more victims and asked the public to contact them at 416-808-5504 with any information. Members of Shania Twain's concert production crew were on a bus that crashed Wednesday morning on an icy highway in southeast Saskatchewan. The music star's management company Merrick said in a statement that the bus and a truck from her Queen of Me tour were in a crash on the Trans-Canada Highway near Wolseley. Twain was not on the bus. The crew members were heading from Winnipeg, where Twain had a show Tuesday night, to Saskatchewan, where she was scheduled to perform Thursday. We ask for patience as we look after our touring family, the statement said. Dwayne Stone, the fire chief for the town of Grenfell, said they were called out to the crash just after 7 a.m. Roads were extremely slippery after the area had been doused by rain, then covered in snow. Stone said firefighters found the bus on its side. It looks like they lost control, went into the ditch sideways, and then the wheels caught the ground and it rolled, he said. The double-decker bus was set up so passengers could sleep on the top level, Stone said. Firefighters used an emergency hatch in the roof and took out windows in order to get to the 13 people stuck inside. When it rolled, all the debris trapped people in, he said. Basically, we just had to go and gently remove items so we can free people. Stone said the people were taken to a nearby hospital, but he didn't believe any of their injuries were life-threatening. The Saskatchewan Health Authority said later Wednesday that 2 people were transferred to hospital in Regina and the others were discharged. I'm devastated to have to tell you that a Beat the Street USA bus experienced black ice on the roadway, causing an accident, George Phillip, the company's owner, said in a post on social media. Firefighters also retrieved luggage from the bus to get the passengers' passports, Stone added. When the bus tipped, Stone said he figures many passengers had been sleeping because they just had their socks on and no coats, he said. We had to give them blankets to keep warm. Mounties closed the highway from Wolseley, 100 kilometers east of Regina, to the Manitoba boundary due to icy conditions for several hours. Stone said firefighters also responded to 2 jackknifed semi-trailers on the highway the same morning.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.